Hi Libra, welcome to your messages for the last few weeks of August going into the beginning of September. I hope that you've had a great August so far, hopefully, and I hope you're doing well. So we've got the Oracle decks, well, the books from the decks I'm going to be using for today's reading. And before I start, so I did a meditation before I started the reading, and quite a few interesting things came up actually. Well, I don't know if they're interesting, that's debatable, but so while I was even preparing the cards, I kept on getting this thing about shedding old skin. If you're aware of the Angels and Ancestors deck by Kyle Gray, there's a card in there about shedding old skin, and it's snake, I believe it is. So that came to mind. And then I just kept on feeling a lot of pressure at the front of my forehead. So I don't know if for someone that is like a third eye opening thing, or a third eye chakra connection there for someone. And then when I went more into the meditation, it was a short meditation, but when I went into it, it was like an onion and peeling back. It was something about peeling back the layers, and then it was like an onion and peeling back the layers of an onion, and then in the middle of the onion was like a little gold nugget. And the person, whoever the person is that took the golden nugget out, it was like they were really pleased with themselves, like it was a golden nugget of, I don't know, information or just something very precious and valuable, but the person taking it out was really pleased with themselves. So that's like an initial message. We'll see if it's something on its own or if it connects with the rest of the reading. But we're going to begin with a message from the African Goddess Rising Oracle deck first of all. So what do we need to know for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising for the last few weeks of August going into the beginning of September? What do we need to know for you guys? Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising. You've got two messages. I need to look at the bottom of the deck, right? We've got Satira, Brazen. That's about being ballsy, to be honest. Anyway, right. We also have Ngame, Desire. And we have Sarah Lakali, or Sarah Lakali, Divine Lineage. So we'll put her, where shall we put that? We'll put her there. Put them like that. And we're going to get your tarot cards out as well. So what else do we need to know for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising? So what else do we need to know for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising? Last few weeks of... That was really dramatic. Yes. Yep. Okay. What do we need to know for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising for the rest of August going into the beginning of September? You've got the Chariot, you have the Justice card, and one more please, and you have the Page of Wands. Right, let's get clarifying. Actually, I'm going to read the messages from the book first of all, and then I'll clarify. So, Ngame, so goddess of desire. Ngame is the triple moon goddess of the Ashanti. Every new day, this mother goddess rebirths the sun, shooting life into us with her moon bow. Her lunar rays illuminate souls. Her guidance is dream bigger. Puny desires constrict you. Your desires create your life, so allow them to flow boldly. What do you really desire? Get specific, see it, smell it, feel it, call it in now. What you desire desires you. Does your desire flow from love or fear? Manifestations that come from fear-based desires keep you safe and small. Desires that come from your soul expand your world. And the goddess declaration says, what I desire desires me. And then, what was she, 6? Was she 6? Yeah, 6. Sarah Lakali, what's her message? So, the goddess of divine lineage, great ancestress Sarah Lakali, meaning Sarah or Sarah the Black, was an Egyptian prophetess and the patron saint of the Romani people. Oral history says that Saint Sarah had the highest divine lineage. Her guidance says your ancestors protect the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is you. Divine ones walk beside and within you. Trust. Your ancestors want to remind you that you are not alone. They are rooting for you. They ask you to honor your spirit guides and call upon the power of the divine. Create or nourish your ancestral altar or shrine. Unbury your ancestors. Speak their names. Your divine lineage ancestors may be blood related or culturally or spiritually connected. And the declaration says, I am my sister and my sister is me. So I am going to clarify and see what this brings up. I mean, the one thing I would say is, in terms of desires, whatever it is your goals are, or whatever you're trying to achieve or manifest or create in life at present, with the divine lineage card coming up, it kind of speaks of calling support from your spiritual team, whatever you feel that your spiritual team is, whether you feel it's God, goddess, angels, ancestors, guides, guardians, yourself, even the universe, whatever you feel that your spiritual team is, you know, get the backing, because it said in the card they're rooting for you. So yeah. Three of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. What do we need to know there, please? Seven of Swords, first of all. Three of Wands. Are you feeling worried or scared about something that you actually want to manifest? You know, with the Seven of Swords, it can bring up a feeling of risk. And obviously, if there's fear around something, I think it probably said it in the card, in the oracle cards anyway, that can kind of block you from something. If there's fear around it, it's kind of a way of blocking yourself, isn't it, really? You got to kind of, well, first of all, know what the fear is, be willing to admit it to yourself, and then you can kind of try and find a way to remove it. You've got the Page of Cups. That's the need to be vulnerable, isn't it? So that's where you identify and admit to yourself what the concerns are. Because with the Wheel of Fortune, it's like there's kind of, it's a need for change. And obviously, if with the Three of Swords being there as well, that can be pain, disappointment. There's a need to change that as well. But with it being, when it's in reverse, I often feel like it's like a work in progress. So it's needing to happen, but there's some kind of resistance, a block, or maybe sometimes it's that there's more information or something needed. So yeah, let's see what else we get. One more, please. Seven of Cups, and then that can be a card that asks if what your heart desires is worth pursuing. So whatever you desire, there might be fears or concerns or worry about that. It can be, sometimes it can be that you don't feel good enough. It can be that you don't feel you deserve it. You know, you may feel that you're going to end up being disappointed even as well. But it feels risky. It's wanting something, but somehow it feels risky one way or another. Okay. And if with that whole thing coming up about shedding old skin, that message that I said at the beginning, that would be something that would need to be shed. The fears and the doubts and things like that would need to be shed. In terms of the onion layers, I don't know, I'm laughing when I say that. It may be, if there are hidden fears, is the moon going to come up? Maybe. Who knows? If there are hidden fears, it's about peeling back the layers to uncover what the fears are, because that nugget that I saw, I almost feel like the nugget could even represent you, to be honest. But it can also be like a nugget of information that helps you to understand what the fear is, so that you can get rid of it, to be honest, so you can shed it. I'm just trying to think what else I said. I said about shedding old skin and the onion, and then the nugget. Oh, and that you were quite pleased with, or whoever, I'm assuming it's you, found the nugget, that they're quite pleased with themselves. Maybe it's the key. So let's look at the Chariot, and that is about movement, isn't it? But in this particular Chariot card, this is a stagnant Chariot card. This person, both of the Sphinxes are sat down. They're not going anywhere, are they? She's looking back. What are you looking back at? Is the question that comes to mind there. What are you looking back at that is kind of stalling you from moving forward, potentially? What else do we need to know about that Chariot, please? Right, we have, that was first. The Empress was first, followed by the Ace of Wands. I mean, the desire's there. Well, obviously the desire's there. It's there, isn't it? There's a desire there to create with the Empress and with the Ace of Wands as well. That is a creative energy, isn't it? It's a desire. It's wands, it's desire, it's creativity. What else do we need to know? And we've got the Knight of Swords in reverse, the World in reverse as well. So there's something that you probably needing to understand within you, or to be more honest about, in terms of what the potential block is from you moving forward. And the Seven of Swords as well, obviously it can be what's not seen, it can't, because it's like secrets, lies, etc. Let's get one more. Okay, that was quick. Page of Swords. That's the truth that needs to be uncovered. Can we get something for that Knight of Swords? And we'll do one for the Page of Swords as well, just to see if it'll give you more clues about what the truth is. It might not tell me, because it might be that the whole point is that part of your journey is for you to figure the truth out yourself. But let's see if the Knight of Swords gives us any more info. King of Wands. The Hanged Man. Five of Wands. So the first thing that came to mind with that King of Wands is, okay, there might be something about you fearing your ability to do or create something, like your own power, like fearing your own power, or not feeling you have the power. The Hanged Man, it kind of just feels like being in limbo, maybe excessively, to be honest, excessively being in limbo. But it can also, the keys there, isn't it? It can also represent the need to kind of go within and think about it. You've got the Five of Wands there as well. And with that Hanged Man, that's making me think of, especially since I mentioned power, so that energy of interference, being challenged on whatever it is you want to, what your desire is, where because of other people's opinions and interference, or just societal expectations even, it just makes you question things, and it stalls it for you, because it puts doubt into your mind and makes you question your own power and ability to achieve what you want. Page of Swords, let's see. So we've got the Two of Pentacles, we've got the High Priestess. We've got the Sun. I mean, it's a need to be clear, isn't it? You might have distractions, and that's why you can't see things clearly or hear your own intuition. Even you might have stuff going on outside of you that is very distracting to you. So bear that in mind with that Two of Pentacles being there. I'm just seeing if there's anything specific, like, I mean, obviously it's a general reading, so you apply it as it's relevant. You'll know what your desires are. I'm just seeing if it's giving me anything specific here. I've got the message that, literally looking at the Empress, of someone being like an older parent wanting to have a child is something that came in. And yeah, blocks around that, whether it is health wise, physically, or just stigma, possibly. It could even be something like, you know, if someone's gotten older and they want to have a child, but they don't have a partner, and they're considering I'll say, because it's coming up, like a donor, a sperm donor or something, or a surrogate or something to that effect. It could be something like that as well. Anything else? Okay, that's all the most specific thing that's coming, and then that could be just for one person. Let's look at the Justice card and see what comes up for that. What do we need to know with the Justice card there? We've got the Two of Wands, the phrase "do right by you" is coming to mind. So obviously with the Two of Wands being there, there's a need to make a choice where it kind of you're doing right by yourself, or you're doing the right thing for yourself. No, getting a strong no on. Okay, I'm getting a yes on these, and it was a no on the other ones, right? I think that's meant to be upright. So we've got the High Priestess, the Hierophant. I almost feel like it's the High Priestess versus the Hierophant, but let's see what else comes up. In terms of your, okay, yeah, makes sense now. Your internal sort of guidance and compass and truths versus whatever would be considered to be the right, like according to society or whoever would be considered the right thing to do with the Hierophant there. I might get one for that on its own, actually. Yeah, there's a thing about your own, again, that thing about your own power and your own freedom of choice and sovereignty comes to mind there. And what is the restriction to that with the Devil being there? Let's get something for the Hierophant. Yeah, there's a consideration. This is kind of similar to Gemini's reading as well. A choice of where you're considering, is this the right thing to do? But then you have to be honest about what you desire as well. Let's look at the Devil. You might be doing something or wanting to do something that's taboo, to be honest, or you've been trying to manifest something taboo. Yeah, there's a need. There was this came up in Gemini's reading with the Hermit, where there's a need to cut the noise out, cut out the distractions, so that you can understand what those fears are and what it is that's holding you back, and then you'll be able to move forward. Get one more for the Devil. Ten of Pentacles. So this question did come up in the Gemini reading as well. What is it? It feels like here, it's almost asking, what do you want your legacy to? Okay, yeah, I can see the connection here. So this is a legacy energy here with the Divine Lineage card and the Ten of Pentacles. What do you want your legacy to be? There could even be pressure. If there's a family legacy that you have, there might be pressure for you to follow the family legacy, and you may be questioning, well, is that actually what I want? Or if you do follow the family's legacy, do you want to put your own spin on it? Do you want to do it your own way? Do you want to create your own new legacy? But there's a need to kind of cut out the noise so that you can think about that for yourself, and as I say, understand any fears or whatever it is that's blocking you as well. So let's look at that Page of Wands, which can speak to me. It speaks of like following your own path, being open-minded and following your own path. So if there's pressure to do things in a certain way, there's the need to follow your own path. With the Page of Wands as well, it's a need to be open and willing to explore. So what it's making me think of like facing the unknown, where you have your desires, you kind of know what you want to manifest, but there's going to be fear there anyway, and you can kind of choose to let the fear hold you back, or you can choose to do it even though you have the fears, and that would be that Page of Wands. Focusing on the exploration side of things than the what could go wrong, what could go right, how long am I going to be doing this for, just completely open to, let's just walk the path and see what happens. Obviously you have an idea how you want it to go, but there has to be a sense of openness with that as well. Otherwise it becomes restrictive. If it's like, oh well, it's got to turn out exactly this way, otherwise I don't want it. It can't be like that. Yep, as I say, set your intentions. You can be specific about what it is you want and have a perfect idea in mind, or ideal, should I say. But alongside the ideals, it helps if you kind of open-minded with it and being like, right, I've given the universe, spiritual team, my intentions. Now put in whatever work I need to put in, and then just gratefully receive however the universe gives you back your request, because it'll probably be adapted or amended in a way that it's for your best interests. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense saying that. So it's like, if you wanted to have something made, like a dress or a suit or something, and you have this perfect idea in mind of what you want, and you go to the seamstress or tailor and say, yeah, I want this exact thing. You've got like photos, a vision board, everything, and the seamstress or tailor is like, okay, I can work with this, but I'm going to have to make certain amendments because it's not going to match your body shape or height or whatever. And then by the time they've worked with what you've given them and made the necessary amendments based on their expertise, they give you something back that is a brilliant fit for you. Yeah, hope that makes sense. Anyway, right. But you have to be open to that. If you're rigid and you go and say, no, I want it exactly like that, it's got to look exactly like that. And they're like, but it can't, because that just won't work for you. Yeah, it's that kind of energy. Anyway, Chariot, 4 of Wands. 6 of Wands, and we have the 7 of Wands. And what am I clarifying? I'm clarifying the Page of Wands, aren't I? Let me get something for the 8 of Wands. Oh, no, not that. Right, Death card and the Moon. I feel like this 8 of Wands is kind of like, I don't know if the right way to put it is hive mind. And it feels like, you know, when you want something and then you just get really anxious about it and you kind of become overwhelmed by it, and it just creates a lot of mental chaos. And I know it's not, the 8 of Wands isn't particularly about mental chaos, it's more about action, but there's just a feeling of being overwhelmed with that because of, you know, what you want, and just all sorts of things around, well, how do I do this? Will I get what I want? I don't know, it just feels like that. And as I said, with the shedding of the old skin or whatever it is I need to cut that out and just be prepared that there are going to be unknowns in this. You can choose the path, you can choose to pursue what you want, create what you want, but there are going to be some unknowns, and you have to cut out the chaos and the feeling of extreme. I mean, there will be a little bit of anxiousness at least, but if there's extreme anxiousness, that's going to just kind of mess it up. And again, that can kind of block things a little bit because it becomes really confusing for you and your spiritual team as well, probably. So with the Chariot there, I'll cut that out, you know, choose the path, lay the foundation. And this 6 of Wands here, it's the potential for success. It is the potential for success. I feel like saying, but you have to be prepared to fight for it as well. Let's get something for that 7 of Wands, or stand up for it, because as I said, there were kind of fears in here as well. And yeah, can't let that hold you back. Yeah, this is an energy of needing to stand up for it and fight for it, for what you want. You've got the Queen of Cups there, and that feels like being true to how you feel, no matter what you face, what challenges you face. And the King of Swords is a card, it's truth and authenticity, isn't it? So standing up for it no matter what. Okay, right, I'm going to get you a card showing the potential future energy with this, and then I'll get one showing the advice from the tarot, and then I'll get a final oracle card. So potential future energy with this, please. That's quite a lot. Actually, I meant to do it with the other deck. I did mean to do it with the other deck, but it's too late. I'm using these now. So we've got the Lovers, the 5 of Swords, and the King of Wands. And for me, as a future energy, that is, it's feeling such a strong desire for what you want. With the King of Wands here, that you're able to overcome that mental sort of struggle, or it's saying that it's going to take a lot of strength to do that as well. I think it's about keeping that desire alive and that determination alive to be able to overcome. So it's almost like advice, actually. This is meant to be a potential future energy, but it does say that you have the ability, by keeping your desire alive and your determination alive, to overcome any challenges, especially the mental challenges like the anxiety, any opposition, any external opposition. Let's get you, I was going to clarify it, but to be honest, there's so many cards that it's not worth adding more to that. And finally, it was going to be a card of advice from the tarot for you. we have the moon. Again, that is about the unknowns, isn't it? That there are going to be unknowns that you need to face. Let me get a couple clarifiers for that. But as I say at the beginning, it was saying to ask for support from your spiritual team, whether it is support just to stay grounded, to manage anxiety, or if it is, or it could be as well the support to achieve what you're trying to achieve here, what you want to create. There's the support. That's, yeah, love that. So again, that's the anxiety. It's about trying not to let the anxiety of what could happen, what could go wrong, etc. Try not to let that stress you out too much. And as I say, call in the support, and obviously spiritual support, but support from people in your life as well, in your physical life too. The Sun. Okay. The Eight of, that feels like staying focused. The Sun and the Eight of Pentacles, stay focused, focused on the desires and the determination. One more, if it will come out. Death card. Again, I feel like that's cutting out the stress and the worry and the feeling, because that's another card that feels overwhelmed as well. Cutting out the feelings of overwhelm. Let's get you a final card of advice from Postcards from Spirit. Final card of advice for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising from... Okay, yep. I don't know if you saw how it fell there, but I'm getting a yes on that, so... Right, we have... Dear you, there is always more than one side to an argument, two sides, if not more, to every story and hundreds of ways to be right. Be different, be at odds, and so on. Today we suggest that instead of looking for differences, you find a meeting place or of agreement and approach this experience with understanding and compassion. Seek common ground to understand how another person thinks or how an alternate plan might be laid. Stay out of judgment too. Observe, discern, but accept that others have different stories, different experiences and journeys, and some people might refuse to remain open to another's point of view. No matter what you've been presented with, a great opportunity to explore a new way of doing things once common ground is reached. You're attracting people and situations that enrich your life and bring you wonderful things to learn. We love you so much. So one way of looking at that is that, you know, if you're going to, whatever you're trying to create or your desires are, if you're going to have to work with others on this, it feels like it's about compromise here. And obviously that example I gave, that you have your where I talked about the, say if you were going to get something made, an item of clothing made, and you have to, you got to be open-minded, basically. You got to be open-minded, and you may have to learn to compromise and cooperate in doing this as well. That's one way of reading it, and then obviously take it as you will, you know, your circumstances. And we also have the message. There are times you get lost but refuse to see your part in things. Happens to everyone. Something feels familiar but sort of off. If you're feeling confused, it's best to throw away that map you're using, which only lets you navigate based on your past experiences. That isn't what you need right now. Instead, take a deep breath and open to the truth. A desire to stay in denial means that part of you doesn't want to be responsible for the pattern that's shown up in your life. Yes, this is the right time to wake up and start again. By the way, you will always get another chance. You have unlimited chances to start again. We love you so much, we really do. Be gentle with yourself. Coming out of denial is like being temporarily blinded by super bright lights. Allow your eyes to adjust. Carry on, special one. A beautiful life awaits. Loving you so much. So that can speak to any fears, any blocks that are holding you back as well. Patterns of anxiety, patterns of feeling overwhelmed, you name it. But yeah, I'll leave the reading there for you. So as always, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your August. Take care.